And I believed the left-wing propaganda that Donald Trump was a racist. I realized Donald Trump and his supporters don't care if you're black, white, gay, or straight. It's all love.
No. It's not true. That's impossible.
And that's when it hit me. These are my people. This is where I belong.
What is going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, absolutely drinking from a fire hose of news, covering live at the RNC. I'll be live today at 1 Eastern, noon Central, talking about everything, and I'll be live a variety of other times. Looking to do collab with Russell Brand while I'm down here. Met him yesterday, absolute Chad. Met a bunch of other awesome people too. Ran into Viva and Barnes, Pasobic, and many more. So it should be a good week of getting some guest hosts. I might be on with, I guess, RFK later today, so that'll be interesting podcast. And I'll be on Timcast tonight. Whew. For a guy that doesn't like going out very often, man alive. But last night, Trump made what I would say was kind of a reflective, a somber, a regal entry into the RNC. Of course, it was absolutely epic to see. For those in person, it was a lot more. There's a lot more going on. But here he is walking in, and obviously the meltdown ensues. And all that the left has left, literally all they have left, is complaining about the size of the bandage on his ear. I'm not kidding you. These people are some of the worst I've ever seen, I've ever interacted with. Saw some protesters yesterday, talked to some protesters yesterday. Some of the worst I've ever met. We're going to take a look at that. And let's just a little bit of the walkout.
Please welcome the next president of the United States.
So he walks out. I don't know if I can play the music or not. The crowd goes bananas. Obviously, Trump's in his home court. They're obviously at the RNC. Everything's, doing good for him. Looks good. Looks like he's lost a little bit of weight, to be honest with you. He's probably a little stressed. You can notice that he has a large bandage on his ear where a literal bullet passed through yesterday, just 2 days ago. And, the crowd went absolutely bananas, like a sold out crowd / arena would. 50,000 people in there, 40,000 people in there, as he officially accepted the RNC's, the Republican committee. You can see, obviously, it's a larger bandage, but not only are you protecting the wound, which none of us have really seen up close, but it's also meant to, keep things out, to keep the area clean. I don't know if any idiot, if anybody's ever, worried about, their own injury. The idea is obviously the biggest worry is infection at that point. So again, this is a literal bandage from a bullet wound. Okay. And here we have Mark Hamill. First appearance of the ludicrously oversized ear bandage, apparently not needed prior to tonight. Can you show any pictures of him speaking before tonight without the ear bandage? I can't imagine he was out there with some gnarly, cauliflower ear doing speeches. Also, possibly he had cosmetic surgery on his ear. Very possible, very likely, right? So you cover the wound, you get stitches, but then there's some sort of cosmetic surgery that has to happen so that it doesn't look all gnarls barkley. It's who knows? Who knows exactly what's going on? But okay, what was this supposed to be? A 1/4 inch smaller Mark Hamill, Dr. Mark Hamill, or is that what it was supposed to be? These people are the literal worst. I mean, absolute garbage humans. Jack Black, obviously, all these people getting fired. Jack Black canceling his tour. We're going to talk a little bit about that later. 70,000 likes. Disheartening, right? You can not like Trump, okay? And you can make jokes, and you're allowed to make jokes 30 seconds after what happened on Saturday. That's fine. That's fine. People might find them distasteful, but they're still jokes. And, I think that ultimately, you look at a lot of the replies. I replied, did you hit send tweet and then look around for people to applause? You see Tim Young. You ever take a bullet, Mark? Shut the F up. Hodge Twins ask, hey, how many times did you ever visit Jeffrey's Island? Zeke Arkham says, if you had went through Trump went through, the Secret Service would have had to lift you out of your own puddle of pee and tears and then cry you off. You're a weak, low-T hobbit of a man who wishes he had the brass balls Trump has. 25,000 likes. Not the beat. It's so depressing how lame Luke Skywalker is in real life. I mean, you're a sad, pathetic person. I mean, this is, too much blue milk. This gives me like some level of, faith. You see, Steve, your dude hid in a basement during the lockdowns that had a 99.8% survival rate. Trump is out in public hours after taking a bullet by one of the lunatics in your party. Maybe sit this one out. Obviously, I'm blocking out some of the words, but I mean, like, dude, like, have some decorum. Have literally any, like, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not saying like, oh, you got to cancel him. Mark Hamill has been, having absolute unhinged TDS for, I don't know, 8 years now. So what exactly are we supposed to expect, right? Then we see some protesters. You see Trump gets a hero's welcome at the Republican convention. Former president greets cheering fans with a bandage on his ear just 2 days after an attempt on his life. Just 2 days after, by the way. Here we have some of the protesters. I got to be honest with you, I'm here on the ground. Pathetic showing. Where are you guys? Where are you guys? Where are the protesters? Now, some people are saying, well, they had to go to a different area. I went there. There's like 50. 50. Is it too hot outside? Is that what it is? You see anti-Trump protesters who, quote, hate Republicans cause chaos outside the GOP convention center less than 48 hours after an attempt. I wouldn't say that they had much of an impact, but I was only here. Absolutely zero of my RNC was negatively impacted by these dorks other than laughing at them. Sharing a good laugh with security and local PD, laughing at this one gigantic woman who we're going to take a look at in a second. As the 2024 Republican National Convention kicked off in downtown Milwaukee, a group of anti-Trump and anti-GOP organizers began showing conservatives how unwelcome they really are. The self-proclaimed anti-fascist and pro-Palestine protesters, LGBTQ advocates, wait, you're all in the same room? Do you know what they do to your LGBTQ friends in Palestine? You should probably look into that. Attendees at the event revealed exclusively to Daily Mail that they were there to highlight their disagreements with the Republican platform. By the way, 100% happy they're happy to do that. I'm happy they were there. It's great. They have every right to be there, and I'm not intimidated by them, afraid of them. None of them, hardly any of them, wanted to do interviews. I was there. I was talking to some of the folks over at Tenet Media who were trying to get interviews with protesters, and they absolutely cowardly refused. I believe Taylor's on the ground here with his producer. They couldn't get any interviews with any of these clowns. Attendees at the event revealed exclusively, so here's a 20-year-old, blah, blah, blah. I hate the Republican Party. I'll say that. Anthony, an attendee from the Milwaukee area, exclusively told the Daily Mail. When pressed about what he hated most, Anthony said how the party champions capitalism, oh no, adding that most of the people in the country aren't on your side, anti-human. Anthony shared that he was a communist, and his comrades and fellow attendee Ray joined him at the march to spread the word about communism and rebuke the GOP. Well, to me personally, I want the dictatorship proletariat, Ray told the Daily Mail. I want a socialist revolution. When pressed on the attempted life of Donald Trump over the weekend, Ray was indifferent. I'm not shedding any tears over Trump, but I think the attack was a completely unprincipled attack. Okay. Hey, I think that's a fine reply. And then he then, without expressing any remorse for what happened, admitted that the attempt failed because it was done under the, quote, wrong circumstances. We're just not in the conditions right now where that sort of thing is going to work out. So he wants it. I mean, look at all these greasy, pasty-faced, pimply-faced kids. I mean, they're communists. The reason they believe in communism is because they still live with their parents and they're paying for everything. So their life is communism. Another attendee, Lapis, a self-proclaimed communist from the Chicago area, said that she was against Trump and Joe Biden, despite the event being explicitly anti-Republican. Well, let's see if they show up at the DNC. So we're saying we demand a revolution for a whole new way to live, a fundamentally different system. I mean, there was nobody here. There was more press than these dorks. Look at this. It looks like there's a lot because of the sign, but they all gathered together, and there's like 15 people here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I was right on. We'll call it 20. That's pathetic. By the way, everyone up here is press. These people are making fun of them. You know, I do like that they said, hey, you know, we condemn the attack. You know, that's shocking, unlike people like Des Tiny. But I mean, these people, they're just seething out there. And by the way, if any of you are out there on the street and you want to do an interview with me, you can contact me. We can arrange a meetup. The people I ran into yesterday refused interviews. The people that I know, Tenet Media, tried to interview. You refused interviews. I wonder why that is. I'm glad that Trump's okay. I'm glad to be at the RNC. I'm glad to be able to report directly from the scene for all of you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it, and we'll talk to you again real soon.